Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the official press conference for another big week of boxing. Of course, the main event this Wednesday night on Main Event is Paul Gallen against Browne in a heavyweight showdown that has been years in the making. Thanks so much for your company here today at the Star. We look forward to getting to Wollongong tomorrow. Of course, the fights at the Wollongong Entertainment Centre this Wednesday night, live on Main Event as well. My name's Ben Damon. Can't wait to call the fights. Really looking forward to this heavyweight contest. And as always, with a no-limit card, we have a stacked undercard as well. The co-main is between Liam Wilson and Francis Chua, and an outstanding card of boxing underneath that. It all starts at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on Fox Sports 503, and also simulcast on Main Event before we go to the pay-per-view at 7 p.m. with 5 fights in total as part of that pay-per-view. And the main event is Gallen against Browne. Can't wait for all of the action. We've got all the fighters on the Main Event broadcast here joining us today, and we'll have a chat with each of them before we get to those main event fighters. But firstly, the promoters, No Limit Boxing, and George Rose is over to my right. What are you expecting today, George? A lot of fireworks between these two heavyweights in the build-up. Do they kick it off again today?
Look, there's been massive fireworks in the lead up to this fight, and rightfully so. I think it's the biggest heavyweight fight that we've had in Australia for quite some time. Two of the most polarising figures, I think, in the heavyweight division, in Browne and Paul Gallen. The talk's been very tough. I was quite surprised actually when we had the original announcement and the words started flying left, right, and centre, and I didn't have to do anything. I'm not here to promote the fight because they're promoting it themselves, and it was But that's the thing about the heavyweights. You talk that trash, and then you've got to back it up in the ring, and someone's getting hit in this heavyweight battle. I love the heavyweights. I'm super excited for this fight. It's a fight I've wanted to see for quite some time. And I think with a former world champion and one of the greatest crossover athletes in Paul Gallen, who's undefeated in the ring, no one's knocked him out yet. And, I think coming in against a former world champion, we're going to find out just how tough Gal is, and I think it's a great matchup.
Who's ahead, do you think, in the build-up to this fight? All the talk has been pretty hot so far. Who have you got winning so far?
Well, look, I'll be honest, Gal came out pretty hard initially. He came out really hard at that initial press conference, but I've been loving Lucas's videos on social media. I think they're pretty impressive what he's been doing on his Instagram account. But you'll have to check that out to see. I think Gal proved to be a really good singer on there. But I don't know what's going to happen here today, as long as I'm not in the middle of it if something flies off.
Undercard is stacked again. We've got Wilson and Chua up here at the back table. What are you most looking forward to on this undercard?
Look, I'm excited about the whole card. I think this is one of the best undercards that we've managed to put together in quite some time. And that's an absolute credit to the fighters that we've got here in front of us. They're some of the best boxing talent in Australia, and the fact that they're stepping in the ring against each other to give us all the entertainment that we've been craving for in the boxing ring, that's a really big credit to these fighters, because they are some of the big future stars of Australian boxing, some of the legends of Australian boxing. Great to have Lenny Zappavigna here. I absolutely loved watching Lenny fight for all those years. Kai, Denny Kennedy and Bruno Tarimo, really great fighters. Jack Brubaker, arguably the most entertaining man in Australian boxing, in against Stevie Spark. I think that's a fantastic fight, and all of them, I'm really excited to see all of these fights. And then obviously we've got Liam Wilson and Francis Chua to finish off the undercard, and that's going to be an absolute cracker. All these guys can fight, all these guys can bang, and I know they're all going to put on a show on Wednesday night, so I can't wait to see them in action.
Gee, it's a good show. We can see it, of course, on Main Event. You can book either via Foxtel or KO as well, but there are still some tickets available. George, how do we get them?
There is definitely. Check out ticketmaster.com.au. Come down to Wollongong. Great venue, Wollongong Entertainment Centre, really great venue. I'm excited to be there. It's the first time that we've taken a fight to Wollongong, and I think the venue's built for boxing. It's really a great venue for boxing, but if you can't make it down there, of course, available on Main Event and KO, and you don't want to miss it, because I'm telling you, the heavyweight battle is going to be crazy, but this undercard as well is going to be a really good night of fights.
Yeah, thank you very much, George Rose. We'll get into the fighters. There's 10 of them up here. We've got all 5 of the fights on the pay-per-view broadcast joining us. Firstly, I'll go to Danny Kennedy. He takes on Lenny Zappavigna. We all know Lenny Zappavigna from those incredible wars right around the world. Danny Kennedy's been in some very, very good fights of his own. Danny, how's the preparation been for this one, mate?
Oh, the preparation's been brilliant. I've been up in Perth, actually, in a training camp at Lacey's gym. and it's just brought my boxing back. I lost my boxing for a little while, but it's back now. And fighting such a one of the legends of Aussie boxing, Lenny, how can you not get up for a fight like that, you know? So I'm looking forward to this one.
Have you gone back and had a look at some of those legendary Lenny Zappavigna fights in preparation for this?
I've watched all Lenny's fights the last 4 weeks. I probably know Lenny more than he knows himself watching him, but I'm prepared for a very, very hard fight. Styles make fights, and I think this one's going to be a cracker.
How do you win this fight, Danny?
Just being smart, box clever. I've got the tools to beat Lenny, and I'm going to bring it Wednesday night.
Thank you very much, Danny Kennedy. Let's go to Lenny Zappavigna now. If you grab one of those microphones, Lenny, welcome back, first and foremost. So great to have you on one of these big shows and right where you deserve to be on a pay-per-view broadcast here in Australia. What tempted you back into this fight?
Thanks, Ben. After my last fight in 2018, I fought for the #1 spot in the world in Oklahoma. Obviously, I fell short in that fight. I've had a nice break from the sport. It's always itching. It's always in my blood to come back and fight. I always think about it, and I'm up and down to a fight. And then I spoke to Matty Rose, and he said, I said, I want to fight. He gave me the opportunity to get on the card. I said, book me in a date. He booked it in. I said, pick your opponent. He got me down in Canada and said, let's go. So coming back, I'm actually so surprised how I just bounced back. You know, I got back into amazing shape. I trained very professionally. This fight here, I'm taking it very seriously because I know after beating Danny Kennedy, there's some great opportunities in Australian boxing for me. There's some great fights for me, and I'm campaigning at the welterweight division now. I'm a lot stronger. I do my weight a lot better at welterweight, so I'm excited to bring back a bang to the welterweight division.
Do you see this as an opportunity to put the welterweight division on notice?
Absolutely, man. I want the whole welterweight division to be on notice that I'm back, and I believe I'm one of the most strongest and experienced fighters in the division. So I'm definitely looking at, past Danny Kennedy, and we're looking at some big fights in the country. And I'm sure I'm going to bring great fights, great entertaining fights to Australian boxing. And it's been a while since I fought in Australia, and I'm so excited to be back on a great card like this. The way they do No Limits do these shows, wow, it's really exciting. Really amazed and honoured to be on the card.
How does it end on Wednesday night, this fight, Lenny?
Look, obviously I have an aggressive style, sometimes too aggressive, but I've been training, I'm really working on patience. I'll be taking my time, I'll be picking my shots. I know I got the power, I know I'm fit, I know I'm younger, I got the knowledge, so I'll take my time and I'll pick my shots wisely, and I'm confident I should come out with the victory.
Thank you very much, Lenny Zappavigna. So that is Kennedy and Zappavigna who'll kick us off on the pay-per-view broadcast. Then we go to Bruno Tarimo and McKenzie. Bruno Tarimo always claims not to be able to speak, but then steals the show inevitably at these press conferences. Bruno, so great to have you back. What do you make of McKenzie as an opponent?
Firstly, I want to say thank you, Gordy, for giving me this another opportunity. This is I'm here for fight, for try make good life for my family. Always I'm ready. I'm never stop. I'm working hard. I have a good team, and this is another tough fight for me. But all of my life, I never have easy fight. Always have a tough fight, and yeah, this is what it is. And McKenzie is good boxer. He's smart, and I'm ready. I'm ready for him. I'm coming for win. I'm coming for try to running for my dream. My dream to be world champion. So I'm ready. I'm ready for McKenzie.
Bruno, a few stories over the weekend about how important this fight is for you. You're sending your purse back to your family in Tanzania. Just how big a deal is this fight for you?
Sorry, can you start again?
How important is this fight for you?
Every fight is important for me because this is gonna help to me to still have people to support me, to help me, and then soon people that support me, they're gonna support my family, they're gonna help my mom, my dad, my 2 children, and my wife to the country. So this is very important to go next level. Okay,
thank you very much, Bruno Tarimo. He takes on McKenzie. We haven't seen you on a big show like this for a little while. Must be exciting to be back in front of Australia again.
Yes, definitely. I can't wait to show what what I've come back with my old trainer Lincoln at UTC. I'm willing to get back to super featherweight and show Australia the true Kyle McKenzie that I've shown in the past, and ready to bounce back and take over, get back in the limelight.
We know what Bruno is going to bring. He's relentless. How have you prepared for what he's going to be in front of you on Wednesday night?
Yes, definitely. We've pushed all the limits. I've been pushed hard on the pads, in the gym, on the bag. I'm ready for this fight. I'm ready to take any pressure, relentless, whatever everyone says. That's fine. Let's get it on. I'm willing for anything. I can box, I can move, I can brawl. You know, I got a good chin, I got good power. Let's test his chin. Let's test me coming back to super featherweight, and let's see what happens Wednesday night.
We will indeed. That is Kyle McKenzie and Bruno Tarimo. Cannot wait for that fight, and it'll take us along to one that plenty are expecting to be the fight of the night between Jack Brubaker and Stevie Spark. Stevie, welcome to Sydney. Is this the biggest fight of your career so far?
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, look, it is. It's the most important. Every fight has been a world title fight for me, and this is just another one along the way against Jack Brubaker. I couldn't get a fight at super lightweight because no one wanted to fight me. And, you know, look, I had to step up to welterweight to get a fight. And not only that, I'm taking on the number one man, and that's Jack Brubaker. So I'm very excited, very motivated for this. I believe I'm the best kept secret in Australian boxing, and come Wednesday night, I'm looking forward as emerging as one of Australia's top talents.
Stevie, look over to your right there, mate. So what do you make of what you see, the man in the hat?
He's been soul searching for the last year, this man. He doesn't know what he's doing. They know this is a real fight.
I know who I am, and you're about to find out.
Zoom never punched no sense in you. You've got none. They've only got one plan.
Mate, I shook Stevie's hand. It was like shaking a 12-year-old boy's hand. So,
isn't that going to be sad when a 12-year-old boy knocks you out there?
Mate, we'll see.
Mate, you couldn't box apples. Honestly.
You're going to find out Wednesday night. That's it. I've had the perfect camp. I've got the best trainer in the world.
Every camp. You say this every camp, and what happens?
Oh, you're about to find out Wednesday night. I've had the healthy coach. I've taken a year off to get on top of all my personal issues, get on top of all my training facilities. I've had the best trainer in the business, healthy, happy. I've got a smile on my face. You haven't seen that for a long time. When I'm happy, that's when I'm most dangerous. So you're going to expect a different Brubaker Wednesday night. It's still going to be Mr. Entertainment, but it's going to be a smart, precise performance. And everyone's going to be clapping, cheering, Brubaker, Brubaker.
The only thing that's happening here is you're going out in your back.
Mate, you fought nobody. No one Brock at 57 kilos can't beat. So you're coming up, you're going to fight the big boys, you're about to find
Brock's
out.
not fighting your fight, mate. You are.
I'm saying Brock could fight every one of your opponents and stop every one of them also. So you're nothing special. 57 kilos, stopping every one of your opponents also.
Yeah, we'll see.
Stevie, do you feel you're at a size disadvantage in this fight, stepping up to welterweight?
Hell no. Let's stand up and see. There's no size disadvantage here. I'm a fully fledged welterweight. I'm taking over the division, and I'm going to be the number one come Wednesday night. And when I beat Jack Brubaker, we'll have to talk to Lenny Zappavigna after.
There we go. A call out at the bottom table.
Bring it on, no worries. I'm up for any big fights. Look, I actually want bigger fights than you. You know, Stevie, well done.
He's looking at Brubaker, not Spark.
I want bigger fights. I'm looking at the horns, and I'm looking at big fights. I want the big fights in the country. So someone with, that's more worth it for me to fight. That's what I'm looking at. So, but first things first, I'll take care of Danny Kennedy, and then we'll go from there.
Got to get past me first, Lenny.
All right. Thank you very much, Stevie Spark. Jack, what is the go with the hat? Do we have a new nickname?
Mate, listen, I grew up on a horse riding ranch, so I've taken a bit of time, spent a bit more time down my family's property, and like I say, that's when I'm most happy. I've got the hat on, mate, you know me, I'm a character, so I love to show my character, I love to show my true self. As for fight names, I had a few in the mix, but I put it out to the fans, especially for this one. Obviously, growing up on the horse riding around, just a little bit of a laugh. But again, it's Brokeback Brubaker this fight, baby. Let's go.
There he is, Brokeback Brubaker. Cannot wait to see Stevie Spark and Jack Brubaker this Wednesday night. Thank you very much, all of the gentlemen down at the bottom table there. We head up here now to our co-main event. It's between Liam Wilson and Francis Chua, and there's no one more excited to be here than Francis Chua. Francis, you're pumped, mate. How are you feeling about this Wednesday night?
Man, can you hear me? Yeah. Hello? Yeah. Sorry, I'm really happy to be here. This is blowing my mind. You know, I came here yesterday and stayed at the Star Hotel, and I feel spoiled. I'm so happy to be here. I was a bit stiff on the plane, but then I had a little swim last night and get to see the view of the city while swimming, and I don't get that, man. That's really nice. I'm really happy to be here. It makes me feel like I could do this all the time. You know, I take out Wilson, I'll be here all the time, you know.
You know there's a fight at the end of all this, though. It's not just a holiday.
Yeah, no, I'm happy, I'm nervous, but I have taken this very seriously, this fight. You know, like, I expect for him to be at his level, you know, I expect him to come and fight me, dominate me, knock me out. He has to come and prove it to all of the Aussies that he's the best fighter at this division, and come out and fight. You know, everyone knows he could beat me if he just stayed on his back foot, box, stay long. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows he's a better boxer. He could stay back and do that. But is that going to be a good fight? Is that going to prove that he's the top of the division? I don't think so. You know, so I expect him to come at me, and we're going to have a war.
So you believe you can beat him if it is a fight at close quarters?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. If he's running the whole time, it makes me look good as well. It doesn't matter, same thing. If he wants to stay back and box, it makes me look good. I'm just walking him down.
Francis Chua, over to Liam Wilson. He says you might be running all night in the ring on Wednesday night. Any truth to that?
Look, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but if he comes to fight, he's in trouble. He's got his boxing ability is shocking. I'll expose him in any way.
Do you feel the pressure that he's just mentioned, that you have to make a statement against him in order to show people that you are the best in the country?
Not at all, you know. I believe I am the best in the country, so I'll do what I've got to do. You know, he's come to this fight. He's lucky to be. He come to this fight with a fight that he just had, and he definitely lost that. So he's very fortunate to be sitting up here now in the position that he is. He's banking on a tough fight against McKenzie a couple of years ago, an upset against McKenzie that wasn't even ready. He had the rematch and got punched around for 10 rounds, nearly knocked out. So, you know, for him to be, he's very lucky, and I'm going to expose him.
He seems like such a lovely fella, Liam. You don't want to go and knock him out, do you?
No, I want him to try.
I will. He's fucking terrible.
So how does it go, do you think, on Wednesday night? This co-main event on the big stage, Liam Wilson in his next big fight against Francis Chua.
I think the fans are in for a real good one, because we both come to fight. We don't take a backward step. Grab the popcorn and get ready. I think it's going to be all guns blazing. You know, I haven't trained for 10 rounds. I've trained to be the last man standing. So we'll see who wins. We'll see who breaks first.
And what happens after this fight, Liam? Assuming you do get through it, there's a lot of names in and around the division that you've expressed interest in. Who do you want?
Look, you know, I'm a fighter. I want to fight everybody in the division. It's hard to get them in the ring, obviously, for whatever reason that is. There's a few people here today. You know, the winner of the undercard, I'd like to fight the winner of that. Bilal Dib's out in the crowd somewhere. I'd love to fight him. He keeps running. Shut up. Mate, I've been trying to chase it for a few fucking 6 months now. You've been running. You're sitting back there in your little cloak.
So if I win, I'll fight him.
You're running.
That's Bilal Dib, ladies and gentlemen. So,
hey, I'm talking. I'll talk over you. Shut up. I'll talk over you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Come on, then. Let's go.
All right, we might just leave that till after the press conference, but we'll get involved shortly. Thank you very much. That is Liam Wilson. He'll fight Francis Chua as the co-main this Wednesday night. Then we'll bring out the big boys. There's been a lot of talk in the build-up to this one between the undefeated Paul Gallen and the former WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Lucas Big Daddy Browne. Firstly, to you, Lucas, how have you enjoyed the build-up? You've been a part of so many around the world, but here at home, this is the biggest fight that you've had and certainly the biggest preparation. How have you enjoyed it?
I've appreciated all the childish bullshit that's come out of his mouth. I realise it's for all the build-up. I've done all the little videos of him singing and dancing and stuff. That's great, but it's go time now. So there's no more bullshit. There's no more anything else. It's just punch him in the face until he goes down.
Is there anything that has been said that has been offensive towards you that you've haven't appreciated?
Not so much offensive. I just think he's a fuckwit. He's an absolute dead set donkey. So I'm really going to appreciate getting into the ring and really building.
You have to respond to that, Gal.
Oh, mate, he's loved the build-up. He loves it. He's never had this before. His jealousy and his bitterness towards me is so clear and evident. Mate, he's picked up another 1,000 followers on social media. That's what he's here for. He loves his Instagram account, as we know. So I think he's more than happy with what's happened so far, and I think he's satisfied with what's happened so far, and he's going to get his big payday, which he's been yearning for in Australia for so long. I think that's enough for him. Because on the night I'm going to get in there and beat him, and that's all that matters. I'm going to get in there and finish him. He hasn't got what I've got. He's got size, he's got strength, he's got power, but he hasn't got a heart.
There's been a lot of talk about that, Lucas, from Paul Gallen, that you don't have the heart for a fight like this. How do you respond to that?
Well, I'm the one that's been knocked down in Chechnya, got back up and won a world title. So if that's not heart, what is?
Gal, did he show heart, do you think, winning the world title?
That was a good effort. You got to take it off him too.
So I had heart. Yeah.
Had clenbuterol in your system.
Makes
too.
sense.
Lucas, what do you do in this fight? 6 rounds, you don't have a lot of time to muck around. What are you going to be trying to do from that opening bell?
Basically straight out. Just take the centre ring and dominate, bash him, punish him, knock him out. End of story.
And when you're doing that, what are you punishing him for exactly?
Just being Paul Gallen, basically. Look at the head on him. Like, he's got that head you just want to punch. So it's big enough to hit. Look at the nose and the jaw on him. So all day, he's just going to get hit all day until he drops.
Heaven forbid you lose this fight, Lucas. What would that do to you, do you think, in your position in Australian boxing?
It's not on the cards, mate, so I don't think about it, sorry.
So what does happen, Lucas?
What, on the night or just in general?
Either way.
I've got to belt him, I'm going to knock him out, I'm going to celebrate, go to McDonald's afterwards. And then you look at things like maybe a Paul Gallen number 2 if he's got the balls to step up again. There's the Barry Halls, the Sonny Bill Williams, all those other footballers that want to come and do some boxing, so I can teach them a lesson as well.
Thank you very much, Lucas Browne. Paul Gallen, do you feel that you've got under his skin, and has that been part of your plan?
No, I haven't been planning to get under his skin at all. I mean, I've only really repeated what he said. He's called himself the GOAT, calls me the footballer. He's got no respect for what I've done in the sport, and that's fine, I don't mind. But when I get in there and beat him on Wednesday night, it ends him. It ends him. He's thinking about other fights already. He's got a Huni fight. I know the contract signed, so that's fair enough, but I know he's been talking about going back to the UK, fighting over there. He just spoke about 3 or 4 other guys. He's looking past me. He thinks he's going to get in there and beat me, and he's in for the shock of his life because he's not going to handle the pace I'm going at. He's not going to handle the pressure. Everyone he's fought in Australia, everyone bar the blokes who almost killed him, have been scared before they've got in the ring. They've been scared of him. They've been scared of his power. They think about it too much. They stand there and they shit themselves and they let him punch them. I'm not going to do that. I'm not scared of him. I respect him. I respect what he's done. I was a Lucas Browne fan. I've said that before. But there's a big difference between respecting someone and being scared of them. And people beforehand have been scared of him. I'm not scared of him. I don't fear him. And I'm going to get in there and prove it on Wednesday night and beat him. And then that finishes him. I don't know where it leaves him after this. I really don't.
Physically, what do you think about what you see in Lucas Browne at the moment? How do you think his preparation has been?
Oh, I think it's been... Well, you know what, I think he left it late. I think he left it late. I've had 11 weeks of training and training hard, pad work, bad work, sparring some of the best guys in Australia. He's sparred guys over there in Perth. So I think some are kickboxers. One's got a negative record. He's come over here and tried to rush sparring. I think he said he sparred 6 or 7 days straight. I mean, that's leaving it too late. You don't build fitness, you don't build stamina, you don't build resilience in 2 weeks or 6 or 7 days. It's got to be a prolonged period of training hard. And he hasn't done that. I've been a professional athlete for 20 years. I know what it takes. And he hasn't got it at the end of the day. He's done very, very well with what he's got in his career. I'm going to take nothing away from him, but he's going to run into a different animal on Wednesday night.
Do you still think that you win this fight on points, or do you reckon you're a chance of stopping Lucas Browne?
I don't care. I don't care how I win, I just win. And that's the way it is. I'm prepared to go 6 rounds. That's, the fitness there is not an issue for me. We've sparred more. So that's not an issue for me at all. I just win the fight. That's all that matters.
Okay, before we face these two off, maybe a final word. Lucas?
It's game time. All the talk's over. He can do and say whatever he wants. It's game time, and he's going to have to feel me in the ring.
Paul?
No, I've got nothing else to say really either. I just laugh at how you're like such a soft cock in real life. For a bloke who's 6'5" and tattoos all over you, you're just a pussy. I'm going to prove it on Wednesday night. Seriously, social media, he's non-stop, relentless on social media, and you get here and you shit yourself. You're going to shit yourself on Wednesday night too.
They're the heavyweights. That's the main event on Wednesday night. A stacked undercard as well. We've heard from them all. We cannot wait to bring you all the action on the main event. You can order now via Foxtel or KO. Otherwise, get to the fights at the Wollongong Entertainment Centre and enjoy a massive night of boxing. We've got the weigh-in tomorrow at midday in Wollongong, but we'll face these two heavyweights off. George, you might want to get in between them, mate.
Just make sure you don't backpedal with anything else.
This is the main bout between Paul Gallen and Lucas Browne. It's going to be a big night of action this Wednesday night on main event. We'll see you tomorrow at the weigh-in. I'm Ben Damon. We'll see you at the fights.
Up, Cronulla.
That's it.
Thank you, everyone. They'll all be available to whoever would like to grab anyone now, but that concludes the official press conference. Tomorrow we'll see you at the weigh-in. Thank you.